Hi guys, it's Kelly, and I just randomly decided I'm going to do a weekend reading vlog. I don't usually do that. I usually only do vlogs, so I'm doing like readathons, but it just seems like one of those weekends where I'm going to end up reading a ton because we're just having a lazy weekend. We had family over for the week, and that's great, but you know, it always is like you do more stuff when there's family around, so I just figured that we would kind of lounge around this weekend, so I'm going to get a lot of reading done. So it's about 11 o'clock on Saturday, and already I've read about a third of a book. I started Fall into Darkness by Christopher Pike. Last week I had read a book by R.L. Stine as kind of like nostalgia, bring me back to like my middle school, because I read a lot of those kind of like horror thrillers for teens in the 90s. And I didn't like love it, but it was enjoyable. And so I just decided to pick up a Christopher Pike book because that was another one of the authors I loved when I was in middle school. And I am really enjoying it, actually, like way more than I thought I was going to. Like finding it very fun to follow the different perspectives of the thriller. I'll tell you more about it later. But yeah, I'm about a third of the way through, and but then I needed to do some errands. So I'm the only person that actually like showered and got dressed this morning so I could go out and do some errands. Everybody else is doing like lounging, like TV, computer time this morning. I'm sure we'll get out in the afternoon because it's one of those days where it's gonna get warmer by the afternoon. Right now it's still only like 33 degrees, but it is supposed to be in the 40s by the afternoon, which in Ohio actually feels warm compared to the rest of the time. So we'll get out in the afternoon. But for now, I gotta get to the post office before it closes, and then I'm going to the library to return a bunch of books that I just reviewed. And then the library is having a book sale, so I might like show you a little clip from that to show you like how many books they have and what all. And I will get back to you after that. Oh, and also on the way while I'm doing these errands, I'm going to listen to an audiobook because we live in the country. It takes forever to get anywhere, so I have time to listen to an audiobook. And since I've been reading a lot of middle grade lately, I opted to start an audiobook that is an adult book because I just needed a little break from the middle grade. So I am reading Her Pretty Face by Robin Harding. This is an adult thriller. I'm only about an hour in so far, so I can't really say much. I mean, it's a domestic thriller. I feel like it's gonna be one of those where we're kind of figuring out what happened in people's past, like somebody has a dark past, whatever. So I'm just interested to read it because, you know, I love a good thriller. So hopefully it'll be good. It was recommended by Kayla from Books and Lala, so I hope I'm going to enjoy it, and it'll be fun to listen to it while I do errands. So I'll update you guys later. Okay, so I did not remember to get my phone out and record during the book sale at the library, but they have like tons. They have like a huge community room that was like full of books, so many books, and I did get a few, well maybe like, I don't know, 15 books, and I'm not going to show you them all now because I'm going to be doing a book haul. It's probably like one of my next videos, but I will show you one of the things I got because I had mentioned earlier that I was reading a Christopher Pike book from my childhood, and they had a bunch of Christopher Pike books, and they're like 20 cents a piece. So if I don't end up liking the one I'm reading, you know, maybe I'll just get rid of those, but hey, it's for the library, and if I end up enjoying it, you know, it might be fun to just every once in a while pull out one of those for a really quick, fun read. So now I have one more errand to run, and so I'll listen to my audiobook for a little bit longer, and then I will be headed home to have lunch. Okay guys, so it is 6 o'clock on Saturday, and I've gotten lots of reading done today. So I did end up finishing Fall into Darkness by Christopher Pike, and can I say that I like really enjoyed reading this? It was just so much fun and entertaining. Like, I would call this like a classic YA thriller. So I don't think I ever told you what it's about. It's about 5 people that go on a camping trip, and one girl falls off of a cliff, and then her best friend is being accused for her murder. So we start at the very beginning with the trial that her friend, you know, is on. So the girl, whatever her name is, Sharon, is on trial for Anne's death. And then we're going back and forth in perspective between the trial and then what happened on the camping trip. And I don't know, there's just a lot of twists and turns. It was just really fun. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Kind of a fun blast from the past, since this was written in the 90s and I read this probably when I was in middle school, so it was a lot of fun. And then I also read a little more of my audiobook, Her Pretty Face. And see, the problem with thrillers is that I really shouldn't read the synopsis. So I hadn't really read the synopsis, I just heard the recommendation from Kayla at Books and Lala, so I was like, oh, I'll give it a try because it's on Scribd. And I was enjoying it. I'm like a third of the way through, and then I pulled it up on Goodreads and was just kind of looking at it a little bit, and I ended up reading the full synopsis, and now I feel like I know what is happening and what is, like, I'm guessing more what the ending is. And so now I wish I hadn't read the synopsis. And I think with thrillers, sometimes they just give away too much. And so I'm a little angry because I had started off being really interested and not really knowing at all where the story was going. I just knew it was a domestic thriller, and I was just kind of following along with the lives of people and kind of seeing things unfold. And now I feel like I know what's going to happen. And the other thing I am reading tonight is Grave Mercy. And I have been buddy reading this with a few of my friends, and we are pretty far in. I think I only have like 100 pages left, and I think I'm supposed to be finishing this today. We didn't say exactly, like we were supposed to read 10 chapters a day, and there's only like 14 chapters left, so I think we were just kind of assuming we'd probably finish it today. It's my hope to finish it because it's just really big and I'm just ready to be done. It has been a fun read, but it's definitely full of a lot of tropes, so it hasn't like been like a favorite, but it has been entertaining, and I kind of just at this point want to be at the end because this is really thick and I just want to find out the conclusion. Still not sure yet if I'm going to continue this series, but that is my reading plans for tonight, is finish this and then maybe if I have time listen to more of my audiobook. Hey guys, it's Sunday morning. I just got back home from getting a little caffeine. So after I talked to you last night, the only thing I did was listen to some more of my audiobook, Her Pretty Face. I'm at about the halfway point. I am pretty like disappointed that I read that synopsis because I feel like I now have enough like information between that and the story that I can guess where this is going and like who's who and like all that stuff, and so that's kind of annoying. So just a PSA, don't always read the synopsis when you're getting a thriller, because it just really bugs me when publishers like basically spoil it for you. But anyways, I am still like interested in how it's gonna play out and everything, even though I think I know who all the players are. I'm still liking it. The narrators are fun. There's like 3 different narrators for the different perspectives, so that's kind of interesting to kind of go between them. So I'm going to keep listening to that. I think I only have like maybe 4 hours, less, like 3.5 hours left of it. So I might finish it today or tomorrow. And then I'll update you in a little bit when I decide what I want to physically read today. I haven't like made that decision yet. Okay guys, so I wanted to figure out kind of like what book or books I want to physically read today. And at the beginning of this month, you know, I knew I wanted to read a bunch of middle grade books. I knew I didn't want to plan out a specific TBR. So I had gone to the library and just got anything that looked interesting to me, basically from like the children's and tween section. And so I had like stacks of, I think I had like 40 some books out from the library. And since we're in the last week of the month, I kind of looked at what I had left and pulled out the ones that I think are going to be my top priorities to finish before the end of the month. And here are the 5 books I think I definitely want to get to this week. Sweep down here is a newer book, and it is about a girl who is a chimney sweep, and she meets a monster of some sort. And I've heard that this one is just excellent, and everybody like raves about it. I have The One and Only Ivan by, what's her name, Catherine Applegate. I had gotten several of her books out from the library, but this one seemed really nice. It's about a gorilla basically, and I think he's in the zoo or something like that, and it looks like it's kind of written almost in verse maybe, or not really in verse necessarily, but in kind of like a format that is, seems like it'll fly by, and a lot of people talk about how good this is, so I thought this will be a fast one. And then I have Inside Out and Back Again, which is a book written in verse, and it is about a girl, I think she's from Vietnam, and I think it's during the Vietnam War, and I've heard good things about this one. And then I have two kind of classics that are ones I read as a child. I've got Nancy Drew, the first Nancy Drew book, and then Are You There, God It's Me, Margaret. I know these are very short and could get through easily, so those are kind of my 5 priorities. So I looked at those this morning and decided what I was in the mood for, and I chose to pick up Nancy Drew, The Secret of the Old Clock. This is the first one that was written back in like 1930, because I haven't read a Nancy Drew book since I was a kid. I mean, I read several of them. I know I didn't read them all because there's like hundreds of Nancy Drew books, but I had read a lot of the old classics because my mom had these original ones, and then I also read some like the Nancy Drew Files, which were the ones that kind of like were updated for a teen audience and stuff like that. So I have read several Nancy Drew books, but I haven't read them since I was a kid. So I picked this up this morning, and I am about, I don't know, a third or so of the way through, and I have to say, I'm finding it pretty torturous to read, and I feel really disappointed about saying that, because Nancy Drew is such an icon, but it is so hard to read. I mean, it's just like the way the writing is just so, like, I don't know. I'm having a hard time keeping interested. It feels like a Dick and Jane book. Like, it's like, oh, see Nancy look for clues. Nancy sees suspects. Nancy eavesdrops. See Nancy finds secret. Like, it is just so hard to get interested because it's, I don't know, just very trivial and blah. And I know it's a children's book. I mean, I don't actually know what age it was supposed to be originally written for, because in this book, Nancy is 18. But it was written in the 30s, and I know most of the time people read this more in their elementary years because there's not a lot of violence or anything. But yeah, I'm still having a hard time. But I'm not going to give up on Nancy Drew completely. Like, I'm going to finish this one, hope that it gets a little better as it goes. But this is the very first one written, and it was written in 1930. And there are so many Nancy Drew books. I'm not going to give up completely. I'm going to kind of look up, do some research on what are like people's favorite Nancy Drew books and see if I can pick some up that maybe came up later in time and hopefully like them better, because I would like my girls to be able to read some Nancy Drew, but not this specific one. I am just having a really hard time with it.
All right, here's another one. An itty bitty mouse, pitter pat tiptoe, creep crawls in the cave from the fluff cold snow.
Hey guys, so it's Sunday night and I've done quite a bit of reading today. So I finished 2 things today. I finished my audiobook, Her Pretty Face, and I would say it's probably pretty middle of the road. In terms of thrillers, it's not really very thrilling. It's kind of like one of those books where you're just kind of discovering secrets, but nothing really like exciting happens or anything like that. It just kind of is the slow unraveling of a story of people's lives and secrets in the past and that kind of thing. So it wasn't like that exciting, but I really did like the narrators and it kept me entertained. So I'd say it's probably like a middle of the road kind of thriller. I wouldn't necessarily recommend going out and buying the book, but if you like kind of domestic thrillers, the audiobook was really good in terms of the quality of the narrators and everything. And then I also finished the Nancy Drew book. And I know I was pretty hard on this in my last clip, but it did get better. I ended up probably rating this also a 3 because I did find it really hard to get into at the beginning. The like writing was really not fun or enjoyable. But once the mystery started to really kick off, it was fun. So I will try one of the later books and hopefully the writing will have improved by then and I will enjoy it more. So it is about like 9 o'clock. I probably have another couple hours before I go to bed. So I'm going to pick up the one and only Ivan. I don't know if I'll update you tonight or if I'll be too tired and falling asleep. So I might just update you in the morning and let you know if I ended up finishing this. Because I guess this is really like short the way it's written. So I feel like it would read in only like an hour or so, but I'm not for sure. So we'll see how it is. Hey guys, it's Monday morning, so I just wanted to wrap up this weekend reading vlog. I got a ton of reading done this weekend because we didn't do a whole lot else. I mean, we went on walks each day, but we didn't do a lot when we were around the house. And so I got a lot of reading done. A lot of it was kind of middle of the road stuff, not like a new favorite, but it was nice to finish some of the things that I had started. And I just wanted to update you because the last thing I read last night was The One and Only Ivan. I haven't finished it. I'm over halfway and I love this. So it was a good end to the weekend. I'll finish it today. It was amazing. Like, I didn't really know what it was about when I was telling you before, but it's about this gorilla named Ivan, who I guess is a real live, or was a real live gorilla. And so this story is kind of true, but it's from the gorilla's perspective, so obviously she's fictionalized it. But this gorilla lives in a mall off the highway, and there's some other animals that live at this mall, and it's just like his life in the mall with his friends and him like yearning for something else outside of the mall. And it is really funny and really sad. It's got both parts of that, which is like the perfect thing you want in a book, like a great balance. Like, there were times yesterday when I was laughing out loud, and so my husband was like, "What are you reading?" And I'm like, "This book we need to buy for our kids," because there were parts that I was just cracking up. Like, I really liked the humor, but then there were equal parts that were sad. I haven't cried yet, but I have this feeling that by the end I'm gonna cry. But I would highly recommend this. Obviously, I still need to finish it, but good into the weekend. So that's it. I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.